Welcome in. This is the early Wedge best bets for this evening, and the show must go on, which means we are looking forward to the Sanderson Farms Championship, a full field event with a cut and lots of great betting options along the way. Joining me to give those wagers out, Patrick McDonald is here. Patrick.
What's up, guys? What is up, guys? Not gonna lie, I got a little head start on the Sanderson Farm during the Ryder Cup. Someone was pushing out a little preview content on Friday afternoon, Saturday morning, and I read a little bit before the festivities got started over the weekend. So I'm locked and loaded.
Okay, we've got a very engaged and locked in Patrick McDonald. We've got Jason Sobel here. Jason, it's good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Going through withdrawal symptoms. It's been about 2 days since we were all together at Bethpage. I, too, was working on the Sanderson Farms before we thought the Ryder Cup was actually going to be like a dramatic thing on Sunday. I even got a Farmingdale, New York dateline on my preview this week.
Oh, wow. I when you said dateline, I went a different direction. Kind of like
what did you think he was going to talk about?
Chris Hansen in the kitchen. We need you to have a seat.
Correct.
So why don't you have a seat? Just have a seat right on over there. We've got a lot of things on the outline for this evening, but certainly want to be inclusive of the questions, concerns, and comments that might come up in the chat. So get those in there. We will tackle them as I determine, which will probably be later in the show. Before we get to this jumping off point, let's just do this. Storyline of the week, thing to look forward to. It's kind of a hard pivot from the Ryder Cup to the Sanderson Farm. So, Jason, what is it for you that might be the overarching through line of the Sanderson Farms?
It might be something that we kind of heard and saw and thought about during the Ryder Cup, which is kind of strokes gain motivation. Who wants it more? We're in the time of year when players who are playing this week, for the most part, the guys that are there at CC of Jackson, they need to go out and play well for the most part. Everyone's playing for something, whether it's trying to get into the signature events for next year, trying to keep your card, trying to keep something going. All these guys are there for a reason, and it's who is most motivated this week. And we'll see which guys want it the most, I guess. And again, very much like I said about the Ryder Cup, it's one of those, the old axiom in golf. You need to care at the utmost, and it has to mean nothing at all as well. And that's a very delicate line to walk.
Yeah, you have to care just the right amount. You don't want to put too much pressure on yourself, but you can't just go willy-nilly through the country club of Jackson. It's basically this repositioning, these guys, 51 through whatever it ends up being, playing for cards, playing for priority, playing for a lot on the line. And the thing for me, Patrick, is some of these guys we saw, literally last week, Rasmus Højgaard is in this field. Some we saw most recently in Napa. Some we haven't seen since maybe the Wyndham Championship, or maybe they got knocked out at various points of the FedEx Cup playoffs. So some guys we haven't seen in a couple of days, some guys we haven't seen in 6 weeks. What do we do? How do we kind of calculate and weigh those two things out?
It's a good question, Rick.
Thank you.
Very good question. And that's why you're the man in charge.
That's why I'm asking.
You're wheeling and dealing right now.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of is a combination of yours and Jason's, right? Who do you trust to be motivated, right? Those guys who are just kind of inside that top 60 for the next 10 who get into the first two signature events of 2026. The way I see it, Rick, I'm looking at the young guns this week, the young studs. We need some new stars on the PGA Tour. If you are in line at Jackson Country Club of Jackson, stay in line. I'm talking about Akshay Bhatia, Davis Thompson, Minwoo Lee just had a great French Open. Højgaard, you said, did not have a great rookie year, but both of them are in this field. Even Thor Bjornsson in the mix too. Maybe a Ricky Castillo if you're trying to get a little crazy there in Mississippi. So I'm looking for one of those young guys to make a statement this week. You obviously have a couple cutoffs with the top 100 and the top 60 for the next 10, but give me all the young guys this week. I think the motivation is there for all of them.
All the young guys. Okay, well, if I start listing out the winners of this event, Jason, most recently, Kevin Yu, Luke List, Mackenzie Hughes, Sam Burns, Sergio Garcia, that's the last 5. Is there something in common? Is there something to gain from me listing out those names, or did I just waste some oxygen?
Yeah, no, there's something to gain. It's confusion because 3 of those guys are tee to green ball strikers who struggle on the greens. That's Sergio, Luke List, and of course, Kevin Yu last year, who epitomizes that. And then two of them are elite level putters in Mackenzie Hughes and Sam Burns. I don't know. I guess it's some combination of hit the ball really well and make a whole lot of putts. That usually works well on any golf course. And guys that hit the ball really well and make a whole lot of putts should play well at Sanderson Farms. There's my deep dive into what we're looking for this week.
Well, let me continue down that path here, Patrick. I'm looking at this. Last year was a playoff. The year before that, a playoff. The year before that, a playoff. The year before that, one stroke victory. The year before that, one stroke victory. The year before that, playoff. So 4 of the last 6 editions, playoff, and none more than a single stroke margin of victory. Anything to that?
I will
the worst question I've ever asked.
I will say to the initial point, the year Mackenzie Hughes won, that was like his coming out party in terms of distance, right? He added a ton of pop in the bat that year, if I recall correctly, relative to Mackenzie Hughes. And then Burns is a big hitter, and Sergio is a great driver of the golf ball. I do remember in 23 that being an absolutely nuts ending to that tournament. Ben Griffin, I believe, made bogey on the last hole and then got in that playoff with Ludwig.
5 ways. And
Luke List kind of just made a putt. And then last year you had Bo Hostler trying to get TIO relief from like a tree pretty much and was not granted it. And then Keith Mitchell, I believe, 3-putted from 20-ish feet and missed a shorty at the end. So, Rick, your question was so bad I actually already forgot it.
That's okay.
I am just impressed, guys. They do indeed play a playoff here. I thought it was just if guys are tied at the end of it, whoever played better the year before just retains the title.
Oh, you know what? That's actually a better idea. I think we should do that. Just
behave yourself, Jason.
Across the board. The odds for a playoff this year, 3.5 to 1.
Let's do it.
What's the saying, Patrick? Past results do not.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Oh, that's not the way.
There's a lot of sayings.
But that's okay. Decide for yourself. 3.5 to 1 for a playoff this time around. All right, we are going to dive into some first-round leaders. We're going to look at tournament matchups and finishing positions and anything else that I can come up with, including your questions in the chat. But first, we're going to pay the bills and take a quick word from our partners.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ, streaming free anywhere you are.
And we're back. What we've learned from the Ryder Cup is that sometimes golf is a sprint, and that is where we are going to start. Get hot out of the gate and be the leader after 18 holes. They are called first round leaders. They usually offer quite long odds. Jason, you're going to start us off here. You've got a couple of first round leaders that have your attention. Where did you go, my friend?
So in this industry, we all like to pat ourselves on the back a little bit when we get something right. I'm going to tell you, at the beginning of the year, I said, and I wrote multiple times, that I thought Davis Thompson had a chance to make the U.S. Ryder Cup team. I no longer believe that is true. I don't think he's going to do it this year. That said, it's been really a disappointing, underwhelming year for Davis Thompson, but I like him for a single round investment. He's got a ton of offensive firepower. 33 to 1's a nice number. I don't trust him for 4 rounds just yet. I know he's won on the PGA Tour. I know he's played well, but man, that final round scoring average this year has been terrible. Had a couple of chances, and really, was it the John Deere, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, just fell apart in the final round. And then I'm going with Thursday Scotty. We'll see if Lightning can strike for like a 5th, 6th, 7th time this year. Keith Mitchell, again, another guy that I trusted for a very long time to go out and win tournaments. I love everything about Keith Mitchell's game, but it's an inverted pyramid. It starts good and gets worse as the week usually goes along, but plays very well on Thursdays. So I'll throw Keith Mitchell in there as well.
Yeah, at least you know basically what you're going to get out of Keith Mitchell. Davis Thompson, one of the better kind of long-term tee to green players in this field. And as Jason mentioned, the Keith Mitchell stuff on the opening round is pretty incredible. He's the 3rd best player in this field in terms of Thursday strokes gained. And he's got more rounds than the only 2 guys ahead of him, which are Cristobal del Solar and Thorbjorn Olsen. So Keith Mitchell very much a factor on Thursday. Patrick, a one and done for you. You've listed one name. You must be very confident in it. Who is it?
It's going to be Taylor Moore at 66-1. There's an old saying while we were on the topic. If the tournament's being contested in a red state, you bet on Taylor Moore.
Is that true?
There's just something about Taylor Moore.
Is that true, or do I need to run the numbers? Is it true?
In red states that
I'll run.
That seemed to pan out. So typically SEC country, Texas as well. He's brutal in California, getting absolutely none of those electoral votes. And so last time I checked, Mississippi, red state. So we're going to roll with Taylor Moore, 66-1. He's never missed a cut at this event. Shot like a 65 in one of the rounds last year. He's been mostly like high 60s, and the game hasn't been great, but I'm going to take a roll of the dice at 66-1.
You're going to make me look this up now. So
yeah,
what do we want to use? 2024 presidential election. What state each party won, and I'll run those numbers.
Sure. Well, okay. I'll look. He had 4 top 20s in 2025. Minnesota, we're not going to use that one. I don't think that was a red state.
That's not. Yeah, this is already falling apart.
PGA Championship, North Carolina.
Okay.
South Carolina. Arizona, barely. And, I mean, the American Express doesn't count.
Oh, God.
Next.
Okay, this is horrible.
You know what?
Minnesota,
I love the
are we
idea.
sure Minnesota is not a red state? Because Taylor
I
Moore's
need you to
record
run the
was
numbers
Taylor.
on everybody because there's something here. It might not be Taylor Moore.
I agree.
There's something here. I want you to run the numbers on everybody, and we're going to find something. There's some correlation.
I agree. I also think maybe like
He won the Valspar.
Like, what if you play even better in the more blue, right? Like, if you have a 51-49 state, like, okay, but if you've got a 75-25 state, might be something there too. I got some work cut out for me.
And think about like Tiger in his day, where he won, Florida and California. Well, back then Florida was a blue state, so remember. So
you think he was a blue state crusher? Actually,
hanging chads. We don't need to talk about.
There was a lot of Ohio.
Ohio, yeah, that was blue.
We are just absolutely off the rails. That is Taylor Moore, 66-1. Long-winded way of getting to there for Patrick McDonald. I went with two guys who cannot putt, although Sammy Valimaki a little bit better, but give themselves a ton of looks. Sammy Valimaki 60-1. Jesper Svensson is 55-1, and he is not here, but his picks are. Sia Nejad has loaded us with 4 different first-round leaders. I do not have why, but I assume these are well thought out and well-researched. Patrick Fishburne is 60-1. Tristan Lawrence, actually, I think he makes my card somewhere in a little bit, 100-1. Thomas Rosenmuller, 100-1. David Skins, 100-1, living in that longer range. And, of course, if you're watching on YouTube, Josh has gotten us with the conditions, the weather forecast, which is pretty much identical in the morning and the afternoon. Any other first-round leader thoughts, gents, before I move us along?
Sia is absurd.
Why absurd?
He's got this thing for Thomas Rosenmuller.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but he's got a little thing for him.
I actually kind of like Rosenmuller a little this week. It pops a little bit this week. I might be with him.
Triple digits out of the gate for first round leader. Let's move on to matchups. And these are presumably, you guys have all played nicely, and you have. These are tournament matchups. So 4 rounds here. Jason, please indulge me with your tournament matchup.
Well, you don't find a lot of guys undervalued this time of year just because there aren't a whole lot of superstars there, and it's going to move everybody up the board and make the numbers shorter. That said, across the board, Sam Stevens is just undervalued. I get it. He's the favorite in this matchup, but I like him for top 10s, top 20s, but I really like this matchup. I know Cameron Champ has played better as of late, but I still don't completely trust him for 4 rounds. And Sam Stevens is just a good golfer. I mean, I don't care what golf course it is. You give me Sam Stevens at just barely a favorite over Cameron Champ. I'm going to take him most weeks.
Yeah, Sam Stevens minus 118 over Cam Champ. For Jason, I've got Rico Hoey over JT Poston. Patrick, you and I might have a problem here. Although I guess we can get away with this. We can both win this. Yeah. I have Rico Hoey over JT Poston. I have Max Homa over Cam Champ. I'm going to try to be early on Max. Rico just will knock the cover off the ball, and I think we're now going to get the second edition of him using the long putter, which, let's figure it out. Let's get that thing dialed in. And he is the top candidate to be this year's Kevin Yu. Patrick, we can both win this. We're looking for some exact scenarios now, but what is your matchup?
I went with JT Poston -125 over Mackenzie Hughes. We haven't seen Poston since the BMW Championship, so he's in all the signature events next year. So you're probably wondering, why is he even playing? He doesn't need to be here. Well, he's number 48 in the OWGR. Got to maintain top 50 for that Masters invite by year end, because guess what? You don't get those invites for winning these tournaments anymore. So the motivation should be there. He was playing great golf last time we left off. Hughes just coming off a top 10 there at the Procore Championship, I believe. But generally, I like the floor of Poston's tee to green game, and he also has that ceiling with the putter, specifically, not to tie back on this theme, in red states. So we're going to go with Poston -125 over the Canadian.
It took us 2 seconds to debunk that earlier. So,
did it though?
Yes, you debunked it yourself.
I don't.
You started with Minnesota, and then you said the American Express doesn't count.
The American Express is really
Palm Springs is very red.
Yeah, exactly. It's a red county.
We can break this down by region.
We should go by county.
Okay, we'll go by county. No
by the way, shout out to Sia, who's in the airport and put it in the chat. He went full Chris Berman on Kissed by a Rosenmuller.
Wow. That's a good callback. Yes, Chris Berman always had those good little quips. Yeah, very well done. Sia working hard from the airport. I love that. Welcome. Let's continue with our finishing position market. Generally, your top 5, your top 10, your top 20s, whatever you can find. Josh is going to present us with the sheet, I presume. If he doesn't, I can talk us through it. Patrick, I'll let you go first this time. Let's have at it.
Yeah, young gun alert. Davis Thompson, top 20, +125, playing great golf. He's a really good driver of the golf ball as well, which I think with the past champions, there's a through line there ever so slightly. Cam Champ, Sergio, Kevin Yu's a good driver of the golf ball. A few other guys. Keith Mitchell should have won this golf tournament. He's obviously a great driver of the golf ball too. And so I think there's something there. Thompson, motivated, playing good golf, and I think his skill level is just beyond a lot of other guys in this field. So I'm going to roll the dice on a top 20 at a nice +125.
What is the max age that you can be to still be a young gun?
Let's see.
Was it Jason?
What did
Jason say?
I said 37. And this is a true story. Rick, I know you're into cards a little bit. When the Upper Deck golf cards came out last year, I was flipping through. I got a bunch of packs, flipping through them, and I got a Young Guns Billy Horschel card. And I took a picture of it, and I sent it to Billy. I go, "You have been young in 15 years, bro." He goes, "I love it." Billy's what, late 30s right now? Maybe early 40s?
Yeah. So that's the mark. Patrick, do you want to go younger than that, or you just want to encompass 37 and below?
I think you have to be. Davis Thompson's 26.
I knew you were going to look that up. I was waiting. I was hoping you were going to say 25, and then I was going to say, well, Davis Thompson's 26.
Yeah, he's not a young gun. He's a mature gun.
He's a young gun.
He's I don't know. I don't like that anymore. I don't like that as much.
I just like messing with you. Davis Thompson +125. I don't usually, when we do these shows sometimes, I don't see these out yet, but I saw that they were already out. So DraftKings has like the player specific finishing position market. So they have Akshay Bhatia under 28, 5.5. So it's essentially a top 25 for Akshay, -120. That's for me. I think the reset is probably good for him. And then Taylor Montgomery, who has been kind of bouncing back and forth between the PGA Tour, the Korn Ferry Tour, playing well across both areas. I have to finish inside the top 20 at +280. If this is a putting contest, give me maybe the best putter in the world. Jason, you've got some very interesting names as well here. Specifically, your second one has my full attention, but what did you find here?
Yeah, we'll get to the young gun in a second. He is certainly a young gun. But Hayden Springer, top 10 here a year ago. The ball striking numbers are pretty good. He's more of a driver-putter combo than the iron play, but he's getting there in 2 top 20s in his last 5 starts. That's good enough for me at 3-1. We're not looking for a ton. We're just looking for something inside the top 20 from Hayden Springer, who tends to pop a little bit in these fall events when the big guns aren't out there. And then Michael Lasasso, for those who don't know the name, He's still in college. He's the reigning NCAA individual champion. Goes to Ole Miss. Where are they playing this one? In Mississippi. That's right. We've got a couple of guys with Mississippi ties this week. Again, just looking for a top 40. If we've learned anything over the past couple of years, from Nick Dunlap to Luke Clanton to, of course, Jackson Koiven, who's been 11th or better in his last 4 PGA Tour starts, that these kids are essentially really good, first of all, really talented, and secondly, unburdened by the fact that they're playing for a card or they're playing to keep their livelihood. They're playing for something to get into the signature events. They're just out there playing golf and having a good time. And I think Michael Asasso, and essentially what's sort of a little bit of a home game for him being an Ole Miss guy, top 40 this week, count me in.
If you don't know Michael Asasso's name, get used to it, because it's one you are going to see quite a bit in the future. So
massive thighs.
Huge thighs.
Massive.
Yeah. Yes.
Not to get weird about it.
It's actually a shame he has to.
Got to call a spade,
yeah.
Right? Like,
it would be much better if he could wear
what we do
shorts
on this show, right? We got to analyze every angle.
Lasasso, top 40. Thompson, Springer, Montgomery, top 20s. And Akshay Bhatia, under 25 and a half. So essentially top 25. There are the tournament finishing positions for us. I've got outrights. I've got some long shots. I've got questions and answers. I've got maybe fun and games. But first, we're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our partners.
Get ready.
Wait a second. I thought we were going tubing.
All 3 Sonic the Hedgehog movies and Knuckles are now streaming on Paramount Plus.
And everyone loves it.
Every adventure,
Just try to keep up.
every face-off,
This ends now.
and every moment that will have you saying,
Where have you been? My entire life!
It's showtime.
all 3 Sonic the Hedgehog movies and the entire Sonic universe are now streaming on Paramount Plus.
And we're back. Speaking of Billy Horschel, Patrick, what did you think of Billy's fit walking around the Ryder Cup?
Oh, my goodness, a 12. An
12 out of 10.
12. Are you kidding me? That guy should start running Ralph Lauren at this point. He should be in charge of designing those uniforms moving forward.
He had the sweater tied around his shoulders. It was splendid. Splendid indeed for Billy Ho. Outrights. This is where the big bucks could be made. We've got a handful of outrights. I'm not sure there's any. Oh, no, I apologize. There is a little bit of overlap here, but Jason, we're going to let you kick this off here. Your outright card looks like what, please?
Well, so I'm glad Sia put down 3 names because we only had 2 for us in the rundown. Patrick only went 1, so I took his other one. I wanted to get 3 guys in there. Emiliano Grillo has been playing some really consistent golf. We've waited a long time. He was part of this class of 2011 that included Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth and Daniel Berger, and we kind of threw him in early in his career as a guy that was going to be, if not a superstar, at least a very good player on the PGA Tour. It's taken longer for him to get there. I'm still not sure he's quite there yet. He's won, I believe, twice on the PGA Tour, but it's getting better. He's got a good record at Sanderson Farms, and this should be a nice place for, again, I'm looking at ball strikers. Just give yourself a chance. He certainly fits the Garcia List U profile of 3 winners in the last 5 years, guys that hit it great and usually don't putt very well. So hopefully he gets that putter a little heated up this week. You mentioned Rico Hoey earlier. He's a guy that I love. He's just so much offensive firepower, absolutely bombs it out there, changed his putting stroke. I believe he went to a long putter just recently at the Procore Championship, played well there. I am all in on Rico Hoey throughout this entire fall. I will be playing him a lot as long as he's out there playing, as long as he's out there playing some decent golf. And then not Rasmus, who played last week and went 0-2, the only player to not pick up a point. Thanks, Victor. You got Harris English half a point at Bethpage. Rasmus Højgaard got nothing, but Nikolai Højgaard, I'm sure, was paying pretty close attention. We have seen players over the past. I'm not going to say that Nikolai Højgaard in any shape or form was a snub from the European Ryder Cup team, but he played 2 years ago in Rome. He saw his twin brother play. We've seen guys who were sort of on the cutting room floor that didn't quite make, whether it was a Ryder Cup team or a President's Cup team, go out and win shortly thereafter. Ryan Fox did it. Mackenzie Hughes did it. Both of them could have made a President's Cup team in recent years and won soon after. So I like Nikolai Højgaard to go out there and play some good golf this week as well.
Grillo, Hoey, Højgaard for Jason. Look at Sia's cards. You might start seeing double. He also has Højgaard and Rico Hoey there. Both those guys are 35 to 1 apiece, and then it wouldn't be a C and a Jod section if he didn't have Jacob Bridgman on there at 45-1, which rounds out his card. I went with Davis Thompson. We've talked about him plenty, 22-1. I'd like to reset some of these guys, and he is a winner. And then Matt Wallace, who has played a lot since the Wyndham Championship. He's just done it on the DP World Tour. He had a runner-up finish at the European Masters. He is 40-1 in this field. It's got my ears perked up. And Patrick McDonald, again, a single bullet from you, my friend. Who is it?
Let me say this first off.
Okay.
The kid's kind of hot right now in tournament golf. We got Fleetwood at the Tour Championship and Alex Noren at the BMW PGA Championship. So not to toot my own horn, even though I'm definitely tooting my own horn right now. And then to add a couple more things on that. I walked a little bit with Nikolai at Bethpage Black. He was inside the ropes. He was giving off major 11 vibes. Had that buzz cut rolling. Looked just like her, I guess. What else was I going to say? My pick. Akshay Bhatia, 20-1. Someone tweeted at me once saying it's actually pronounced Akshay. So I'm going to believe that, man, at 20-1. And if you want to follow the trends of FedEx Cup Fall 2025 thus far, the favorite has won 100% of the tournaments. The favorite this week, ladies and gentlemen, Akshay Bhatia at 20-1. He's playing great golf too, also. Like T13 at the Tour Championship, T11 at the Pro Core Championship, where he putted beautifully. Hasn't really hit his irons great at the Sanderson Farms throughout his career. I believe he had a couple starts here, but young gun alert.
Question for you guys. I know Akshay is the favorite. Akshay is the favorite this week. Who's the best player in this field? Who's the most talented player who's playing this week?
I feel like you are setting me up to say Max Homa.
No. Homa's in the conversation. Bhatia, both Højgaards, Davis Thompson,
maybe Rasmus.
Directions to go. I don't know where I would go, honestly.
I'm between Rasmus and Bhatia.
Yeah, probably right.
Minwoo. Josh jumps in with Minwoo, which is absolutely on the list as well.
He's an extremist. Far left and far right. Just
played great overseas. I'm gonna say it's Rasmus.
But he has all-time action, man. Like he has potential to be on the Mount Flushmore one day.
But there's definitely like 6 guys you could convince me of.
Yeah, and that's why I asked the question. Like I don't even know. Akshay, I guess, but that's like more what he's done than what he's going to do. Like right now, take all these players from here on in, and who do you take for the rest of their? I don't know. I'm not sure who it is.
Rest of the career, I'm probably taking Rasmus.
Okay.
Let's go farther down the board. The long shots. Let's see what we can find. Oh, mama. Yeah, here we go. I almost want to just get out of the way here because there's a lot of good stuff that we've got. So I'm going to do just that. Antoine Rosner, 80-1. Again, playing on the DP World Tour, playing great. And then C and I are simpatico on Tristan Lawrence. He just won on the DP World Tour. He's 125-1. C has also gone with, no surprise, Thomas Rosenmuller, 125-1. Yes, sir. Now, Jason, I'm going to need some clarification on what's going on your side of the card here.
Sure. What do you want to know?
Let's start with Boo Weekly, 100-1 to win the PGA Tour Champions.
Look, they're playing in Florida this week. The Constellation, Furyk and friends. Boo Weekly tears up Florida, of course. I've been betting Boo a little bit this year, and I mentioned I was doing a show with Will McKenzie recently, and I mentioned to Willie Mack that I like Boo to win at some point soon on PGA Tour Champions. And Will, who I can't believe is 50 years old now, has played a couple of events recently with Boo, and he's like, dude, he still flushes it. He's still so good. He's out there at 100-1. I get it on PGA Tour Champions. It's tough to beat the Alkers and the Sinks and the Jimenez and guys like that who are usually up there. That said, it's 100-1. He's back in Florida. He's still a ball striker. We saw Doug Barron win on PGA Tour Champions a week ago. If he can do it, Boo Weekly can do it. I'm just chasing big numbers out there. And then the other guy on here.
Hold on. Don't get there yet because I just pulled up Boo Weekly's profile and it's like shockingly good. Okay, so so this is all since July, so it's the last 2 months. He has a T3, he has a T20, a T13, 32nd, 30th, and then 2 starts ago. So this was 2 weeks ago. He finished 6th in a PGA Tour Champions event, the Sanford International, excuse me. So this is, I was expecting for 100 to 1 to see a lot of ugliness. I did not find that. This is a very good profile.
Very much like, I don't know, Ivy League women's basketball, or, you find these niche sports. PGA Tour champions, I'm telling you, it might not be fun. It's not like, you're grinding over. You don't have all the stats available that you do for PGA Tour and DP World Tour. But if you're paying a little bit of attention, you can find some guys that at some point might pay off.
I'll say this also. Boo Weekly definitely fits into the red state mold. When you look at all of his success on the PGA Tour in his career and, this week in Florida, like Jason mentioned.
All right. I'm going to bet Boo Weekly as we speak. You get us back to the Sanderson Farms here, Jason. Your other golfer, he's 100 to 1 in that field.
Yeah, parlay Boo Weekly with Davis Riley this week. Look, we're looking at sayings earlier. We're talking about sayings. A broken clock is right twice a day. Davis Riley is either the best golfer in the world or on the PGA Tour like once every 3 years, or he's terrible the rest of the time. If you're betting an outright, that's kind of ceiling at least that I want. He's back in Mississippi, his home state. I don't know. I don't know when Davis Riley's going to win. He doesn't tell us, but at least he has that kind of upside. So there weren't a whole lot of guys at triple-digit numbers that I see win equity with this week in the field. It's not a big play for me whatsoever, but look at Davis Riley and you're like, I know he can win. Doesn't mean he's going to win. I know at least the potential is out there.
It would be a lot nicer if he did tell us when he was going to win. That would be very handy and useful information. Davis Riley 100 to 1 to win the Sanderson Farms. There is more golf to be played outside the United States. In fact, a handful of guys who played at the Ryder Cup last week are going to tee it up at the Alfred Dunhill links, the home of golf. And we've got a couple of clicks over there. Patrick, lead us off, please, with your ADL outright.
ADL. My ADL outright is Marco Penge at 20 to 1. That's why I didn't have a long shot in the last section, because I'm putting a bit of coin on Mr. Penge. Going to be on the PGA Tour next year. Has plenty to play for, though. Before that, he's just outside the top 50 in the OWGR, so needs to play still some pretty good golf, which obviously he's been doing all summer long. Just won the Danish Championship in August, T6 at the British Masters, T8 at the Omega European Masters, top 15 at the BMW PGA Championship as well. And so I'm going to go with Marco Polo Penge.
Patrick correctly pronounced a difficult name to pronounce. I'm going to try to do the same. David Puig is 25 to 1. He is a live golfer in the field this week, is incredibly talented. One of the best young guns that we have in the world. He's 25 to 1. And then Haotong Li, who has just been tearing up the DP World Tour this year, is 40 to 1. You inject some live golfers, you inject some PGA Tour players. His odds get a little bit longer. Haotong should be ready to rock and roll. Jason, it's the Alfred Dunhill links. Take us home.
Well, first of all, I really like Patrick's play of Marco Penge. I've been on him for a lot of this year. He's one of my favorite players out there. The guy's going to tear it up on the PGA Tour next year. And we also got that Wolf of Wall Street, one of us gift that he started the year suspended from the DP World Tour.
He might not want to golf. He might not want to be one of us in that scenario, Jason.
I don't know. We're just going to claim him. Yeah. We in this industry, we don't have a whole lot of guys that are up there playing golf. So we get Marco Penge. He's one of us. So I'm always rooting for that guy, and I'll have a little bit on him this week. But I'm going a little bit deeper down the board. Tom McKibben has been trending in the right direction on live. I feel like kind of break out of there and play with some of the big boys on a links or 3 links golf courses, playing the Old Course, Carnoustie, and Kingsbarns. Nice little rotation for them this week. And I think McKibben is going to play some good golf. How about shout out to my guy, Zach Kosanke up in Michigan, who's been talking about Daniel Brown in the chat for the last 35 minutes. We're getting there, Zach. We just had to take our time, but Daniel Brown, he won about 2 or 3 months ago on the DP World Tour, and ever since then, I believe 4 top 20 finishes in his last 7 starts. 2 of them are top 10s, playing some terrific golf, and tends to play better on these seaside golf courses as well. And yes, all 3 of these are right by the sea. And then Elvis has entered the building. Elvis Smiley, the left-hander from Australia, young gun. Oh, by the way, like 21, maybe 22, maybe less. That said, finished one shot behind Michael Kim at the Open de France a few weeks ago, and he is very, very talented.
He is indeed. DB straight vibin. Daniel Brown won the BMW International Open, and then more recently the T8 at the British Masters, the T9 at the Irish Open, the T12 in France. Was that last week or 2 weeks ago? I guess it had to be 2 weeks ago.
That was the week before the Ryder Cup.
Right. That would make more sense. So that is his most recent record. So it's McKibben, Brown, Smiley, Haotong Li, David Puig, and Marco Penge for the Alfred Dunhill links. And it is time for me now to look into the chat and see what I can find. And I don't have to look hard because Josh has very kindly favorited some of these questions for me. And this is a very specific one, Patrick. So you get this one first.
Oh, God.
Michael wants to know if you have any thoughts, and this must be the Sanderson Farms, on a round 1 3-ball, Joel Damon over Springer and Molinax. You must have a lean on this.
This is my first time being part of the question portion of this show because I was not allowed on during the Pro Core Championship.
That's probably smart.
I
Also,
believe
why
producer
are you so
Josh
close to the camera? Why is your head so big?
I believe producer Josh actually kicked me off on purpose. If I had to pick anyone in this one between Joel Damon, Trey Mullinax, and Hayden Springer, and the thing about Hayden Springer that not a lot of people remember is he actually broke 61 time at the John Deere Classic. And another fun fact about Joel Damon is he had that really cool putt at the RSM Classic to retain his card in 2024.
Right now?
And so ultimately, I'm going to kick out Trey Mullinax, not a fan of his, and I'm going to go with Hayden Springer in this one as my pick in this 3-ball. What was I doing? I was looking up all their stats, Rick, because I didn't look into any of these guys before the show.
It sounded like you're doing a little marry, kiss, kill between the three of these guys.
Hayden Springer. Final answer.
Honestly, that's not a bad way to go about it. I just thought he was filibustering something.
I was looking them up.
Okay. I didn't know what it was in particular. This one is specific to you, Jason. You're called out by name, not by first name, not just by last name, but by your full name. It says, Jason Sobel, what do you think of a top 20 Matt Wallace? Plus 150 with ties seems very in all caps, very good, as he has been playing, not sitting out.
All right, here's what I will tell you. I go back to the start of the show when we talked about strokes gain motivation. We're looking for guys who want to be there this week and need to do a little something. Matt Wallace, if I'm not mistaken, plays the Alfred Dunhill Links Championship pretty much every year, has dual citizenship, dual cards on both tours. The fact that he's not playing over there and has chosen to come over to the U.S. and play the Sanderson Farms this week tells me he wants to get after it. Like, forget the whole Pro-Am thing, forget playing 3 great courses, forget playing the home tour. I'm coming to Mississippi instead because I got to win something, I got to do something good. I like that. So, yeah, top 20 on Matt Wallace, sure.
Not only does he's
in a weird spot.
Why, Patrick?
I'm seeing right now. He's 53rd in DP World Tour, so he's going to keep his card. And then 94th in the FedEx Cup. So needs to stay inside the top 100.
Not only does he play the Alfred Dunhill usually plays it quite well. Finished 6th there in 2023. So, yes, if he's here, he's going to make the most of it, or at least certainly try to do just that. Kylie Reynolds says, Grillo top 20, Thor Bjornsson top 20. That is not a question. Get rid of that. That is not a question.
Take a lap, Kylie. Come on.
Yeah, that's not Thor Bjornsson.
Come on.
Those are just random
marks only.
We got a spell check on this thing before you put it in the chat.
God damn it, Kylie.
Kevin says, does anyone know where Aaron Wise's game is at? He would have been a warm favorite for this 4 years ago, and he's only 29. Patrick, correct me if I'm wrong. There was the time that he took off. It was, I believe, mental health related. He has started to play back now in 2025. It has not been very good. He's got some Korn Ferry Tour starts, cut, 39th cut, 58th cut, 51st cut, and then he played the Wyndham Championship and he withdrew. So I'm going to say there's not much there unless one of you two can tell me something otherwise.
Shot 69 in the first round of that Wyndham Championship, so you at least have that going for you. Has good history here too, and yeah, generally speaking, it's been pretty bleak for the wise guy. So,
two very specific players that are being thrown out. I'm not going to force you to take a lean or a stance on every single golfer, but Eric Cole or Takumi Kanaya, speak now or forever hold your peace. Otherwise, I will move us on.
Man, I love Eric Cole's game. At some point, it's going to pop. He just wasn't very good this year. I was surprised. Took a big step back from what he's been doing for a while. I know he had some illness, some injury, but I love his game. At some point, he's going to put it all together. He's going to win on the PGA Tour. It's going to be a great story when he does. I don't think it's this week.
Give me all of Kanaya. He won in his last start in Japan.
Oh,
so
that's some research. That's research right there.
Yeah. The ANA Open Golf Tournament, September 21st.
That's a good one on that tour. Pearson Cootie cites his question. I assume I'm looking up Pearson. I don't know if Parker's in this field as well, but I'm looking up Pearson. He's coming off a 27th place finish on the Korn Ferry Tour, which is actually his best finish in the last 4 or 5. That was 2 weeks ago. Or last week. Why can't I figure out if this was last week or the week before? Last week would have finished on the 28th. So it was the week before. That was the Ohio State University event. They play the Scarlet course over there. Mm-hmm. So it's his best result since the 3M Open. Not a lot of great play since, or previous to that. He missed the cut here last year, losing 3 strokes on the putting surfaces.
No. If you're not playing that well on the Korn Ferry and you get the call up and you get into a PGA Tour field, you're probably not going to play better.
Hard to argue. I'm fine with that.
Just logic, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Patrick, Jason, I'm gonna sign us off unless you have something that cannot wait any longer and we need to talk about it right now. There is Billy.
I mean, that's what it's all about, man. That is what it's all about. I got nothing, man.
Good for Billy. Good for Billy. Can I throw one more thing? We said we were going to Ryder Cup recap. Can I say one thing? Just because everyone's talking about it. And I don't want to go on Twitter and tweet this anymore because I don't want to start blocking people and have people yelling at me. They held a Ryder Cup at a public golf course on Long Island. And we're going to clutch our pearls that guys are yelling mean things. Of course they are. It's a public golf course on Long Island. They yell mean things if you drive past them on the highway. Yeah, this is the whole reason the PGA of America put the Ryder Cup there in the first place, because they knew it would be chaos. Why are we surprised today? This was it over the line? Yes, it absolutely was over the line. But we've known this for 12 years. That's it. I'm done.
Oh man,
Rick,
he's gonna get me all fired up. Go ahead, Patrick.
No, your thoughts.
I mean, yeah, no. I see the way that I take that is, and I tend, there are parts that I agree with Jason on, where it's just they wanted, they asked for this, right? The whole thing of for however many years it was oh, dude, when you get to Bethpage, you are going to absolutely have it. And Colin Morikawa asking for it on Wednesday, and it was, I think there was kind of a green light. It very much crossed the line immediately. Yeah. And I don't think that the players should have to police it, right? I think that by just trying to get a couple players to put their hands up and stop people from talking yelling during their backswings or whatever, that's not enough. I thought it was a little slow to get some type of resolution. I thought Sunday in general was a lot better than Saturday was. Saturday was an absolute crap show, if you will.
Good save.
Wow.
Okay.
After dark.
I know. All right. There you go. We'll leave on that high note. And there is plenty more great SportsLine content. Make sure you're subscribed and ready to rock and roll. But Sanderson Farms can kick off Thursday morning. For now, big thanks to producer Josh. He does all the hard work behind the scenes. It's Jason Sobel. It's Patrick McDonald. I'm Rick Gehman. This has been the Early Wedge. We'll catch you next time.
Stop.